He is born in a town that nobody outside Puerto Rico has heard of. Vega Baja, population 52,000, a coastal municipality that smells like saltwater and sugarcane. A place so small and so far from the center of anything that the music industry doesn't even know it exists. His father, Tito, drives trucks for a living. His mother, Lisori, teaches English at a local school and takes him to Mass every Sunday without exception. There are no managers, no record deals, no industry connections within 100 miles. Just a family, a kitchen with salsa playing, and something in him that hasn't found its shape yet. His earliest memory of music is not a concert or a music video. It is his mother humming in the kitchen. It is the sound of merengue bleeding through the walls of a small house in the Almirante Sur barrio. At 5 years old, he receives a CD by Vico C, a Puerto Rican rapper, as a Christmas gift. He plays it until the disc skips. Something about the way words move to rhythm stays in his chest like a second heartbeat. He doesn't know what to do with it yet. But it stays. By 13, he is singing in the church choir under his mother's watch. The kind of boy teachers describe as respectful and introspective. Calm, one of them will say later. Very smart, loved Spanish class. He is not the kid who runs with the wrong crowd. He says so himself, years after, in an interview. I like to be at home with my family. That sentence sounds simple, but it contains everything, because the boy who stays home while others chase the street is the boy who is quietly building something interior, a world of his own, a set of values he hasn't yet learned to name. Then comes the photograph. He is small, he is wearing a bunny costume for a school event. He hates it with every fiber of his body. The camera catches him mid-scowl, arms stiff, eyes burning with the specific humiliation that only a child forced into a ridiculous outfit can feel. He doesn't know it yet, but that photograph is his origin story, not because it was funny, but because of what it revealed. He had a face that didn't know how to pretend to feel something it didn't feel. Even as a child, his emotional truth came through his body before his brain could censor it. That refusal to perform comfort he didn't feel, that would become his entire career. He is 14 when he starts writing songs on his own. No producer, no mentor, a simple microphone and a laptop in a bedroom in Vega Baja. He is imitating, at first, Daddy Yankee, the artist he has idolized since childhood, his fashion sense memorized down to the details. But somewhere in the imitation, something distinctly his begins to emerge. A slur, a slowness, a voice that doesn't sound like it's trying to impress anyone. He graduates high school in 2012 and enrolls at the University of Puerto Rico at Arecibo to study audio-visual communications. He wants to be a radio host. It is, by every measure, a practical and modest ambition for a boy from a small coastal town. But he is also uploading music to SoundCloud at night. During the day, he bags groceries at an Econo supermarket. Then he works the cash register. The HR manager there will later say he was responsible and humble, that he would sing while he worked, that his co-workers noticed his style shifting, the shaved head, the hats, something quietly evolving underneath the fluorescent lights of a supermarket, where nobody is watching for the next revolution in music. He works there from 2013 to 2016. 3 years of bagging groceries and uploading songs to a platform where anyone could listen and almost no one did. 3 years of his mother being a schoolteacher and his father being a truck driver, and nothing about his life indicating that any of this was going anywhere. And still, he doesn't stop. That is the first psychological truth about him. He creates in the absence of validation. Not because he is fearless, but because the alternative, silence, is something his body won't accept. In 2016, a song called Dials reaches DJ Luian. He finds it on SoundCloud. He signs him to hear this music. The next year, Soy Peor charts. Then Cardi B calls. Then Drake. Then the Billboard Hot 100 #1. The industry comes for him and immediately tries to give him instructions. Sing in English, they suggest. Just a few crossover tracks. Reach the mainstream. He is standing at the exact door through which every Latino artist before him disappeared into a version of themselves designed for American comfort. He doesn't walk through it. He will never release a song in English. Not to be difficult, not as a political statement rehearsed in a boardroom, but because the music comes from somewhere that English cannot reach. From a church choir in Vega Baja, from his mother's kitchen, from a language that holds his grief and his joy and his specific Caribbean soul in a way that translation would hollow out. That decision costs him nothing. By 2020, he becomes the first non-English language artist in history to be Spotify's most streamed artist of the year. The Guardian calls him the world's biggest pop star, in a language the industry told him to abandon. But the refusal to conform doesn't stop at language. It moves into his body, into what he wears. He begins painting his nails, wearing skirts, showing up to interviews in silhouettes that reggaeton, a genre built on a particular and rigid idea of masculinity, has never seen before. The comments come. Endless, homophobic, furious. I get an endless number of negative comments, he says in a Vanity Fair interview. Sexist and homophobic ones. Without being homosexual for dressing like that. They're going to attack me with all their force anyway. He doesn't stop. In February 2020, he walks onto The Tonight Show wearing a shirt that reads, "They killed Alexa." Not a man in a skirt, a tribute to Alexa Negron Luciano, a transgender woman murdered in Puerto Rico, misgendered repeatedly by the media covering her death. 20 million people watch. Most of them have never seen a reggaeton artist do something like this with that platform, in that moment. Ricky Martin calls him an icon for the Latin queer community. He says he's heterosexual, but that he doesn't know what life will bring in 20 years, and that the question itself might be less important than people think. This is the second psychological truth about him. He doesn't defend himself by narrowing who he is. He expands. The numbers by now are difficult to hold in your mind all at once. More than 100 billion streams. Most streamed artist on Spotify 4 times between 2020 and 2025. Un Verano Sin Ti, the most streamed album in Spotify's history. 3 Grammy Awards, 17 Latin Grammy Awards. In 2026, Debí Tirar Más Fotos wins Album of the Year at the Grammys, the first album sung entirely in Spanish to take home that award in the show's history. A boy from Vega Baja who nobody outside Puerto Rico had heard of. And yet the number that stops him isn't a streaming figure. It's this one. In 2019, Governor Ricardo Rossello's private messages leak, homophobic, misogynistic, mocking hurricane victims. More than 500,000 people take to the streets of San Juan in protest. He is in Ibiza when it happens. He cuts his European tour short, flies back to the island, and marches with his people. He doesn't post about it before he lands. He just comes home. That is the third psychological truth, and it is the one the industry cannot replicate or manufacture. He never forgot where he came from, because where he came from is the only reason any of this works. The music without Vega Baja is a costume. The activism without the church choir is a press release. The fashion rebellion without the boy who scowled in a bunny suit is a marketing strategy. All of it is connected, and the connection is him. The same him who has been there since the beginning, refusing to perform comfort he doesn't feel. In one of Paper Magazine's interviews, he puts it simply, "I'm not telling people to paint their nails or color their hair. I'm simply saying, do what makes you happy and never limit yourself. Just be yourself." It sounds like advice, but it is actually a confession. Because being yourself, in a genre that punishes softness, in an industry that punishes Spanish, in a culture that punishes ambiguity, is not the easy path. It is the only path he could survive. The boy who stayed home while others ran the streets. The boy who scowled in the costume because he didn't know how to fake happiness yet. The boy bagging groceries under fluorescent lights, singing quietly, building something no one could see. He became the most streamed artist on the planet, not despite being different, because of it. He just never stopped being exactly, stubbornly, defiantly himself. And the world, eventually reluctantly, then completely, came to him.